Welcome back to Bonded by Bravo. Jen, and I are on a high right now, and this is going to be a really fun episode for all of our listeners. We're so excited to have you here. Stay tuned to the end of this episode where you're going to hear from our first housewife, and we are so hype about this. What
It's
a fun
actually
experience.
it's actually our first Bravo Lab.
That's so you're right.
Yeah.
And it's also, I mean, OG like or one of the originals.
Yeah. We're on
This
a
is
high. We feel
we
good about it. I gotta say, we're obviously saying who it is. It's Teresa Giudice.
yeah.
And she was wonderful. So
So
charming.
charming. Like that was the first thing I said is she's so charming. She even if you didn't
Stunning too.
agree, so gorgeous. Even if you
Yeah.
didn't agree with things that she said or done on the show, you get her in person and I was
Out the window.
I'm
Doesn't
like,
matter.
yeah, I'm on your side, girl.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, whatever you say, I'm
Yeah.
in. So stay tuned to the end of this episode to hear more from Teresa. It's a really great convo. She gives us some gems, I gotta say. She gave
sure
us
did.
some gems. She dropped
Quite
some
forthcoming.
gems. Very forthcoming. So,
Well,
anywho,
yeah.
what are we getting into? We have so much to talk about. I could not have cared less about Salt Lake and watching the second episode of the reunion. I know I need to, and I know that like is what we should be doing, but I couldn't get into it.
You know I can't get into it.
Yeah.
I will fully admit that I am watching because it's part of what we're doing here.
Right.
You
For
know,
real.
it's part of the job, so to speak. And that's how lucky are we, you know? But no, so we're not even going to recap that. This is not the place for that this week. I'm sure there's plenty of other wonderful Bravo podcasts that are recapping, but we're
not it. But you know what we do want to talk about that I texted you midweek?
Paige and Craig.
Yeah, because guess what? I am not afraid to admit when I am wrong.
Okay.
And don't tell my husband that, but
especially today.
Yeah. I take back the last 2 weeks where I said that I wasn't feeling Paige. I feel like I let her down in her time of need, and I'm not that friend. So I'm not that friend, and I don't
very shocked.
I know, and I don't like what it did to me. I'm questioning things about myself. I'm going through things in life, and I just want to say that Paige, I'm sorry. I apologize to you, and I am Team Paige, and I will be Team Paige forever and always.
Maybe we should
clip that. And I let you down, and I shouldn't have. So I'm back on Team Paige, and I don't know what I was thinking.
Okay, well, let's get into it a little bit. So Paige
I thought you were going to be like, and see you later. No one cares.
No, I bet that you're not the only person who's kind of flip-flopped a little bit about this. I will say that I have not. But let's get into it a little bit. So she went on her own podcast, Giggly Squad, this week and just shut down the cheating rumors. Also gave a timeline. They broke up, which is what we said.
We said this.
I even said, I think, because I was listening to last week's episode of ours, of Bonded by Bravo, and we said something about it happening right around Thanksgiving. And I straight up was like, I feel like it happened on Thanksgiving, like that weekend. And she basically said that that's exactly when it happened. So at this point, it's now been about 2 months, waited about a month before she spoke out about it on Giggly Squad. That was that great episode.
And I think with a 3-year relationship, giving it a month to settle before speaking out is very respectful and very I would say that's how you do it.
And because they are in the public eye.
Right.
She did allow Craig, he was doing press for Southern Charm. She did allow him to sort of speak as if they were still together. Which I kind of want to go back and watch some of those.
Oh, it's so uncomfortable.
Yikes. I think, she did reach out to him at some point asking for him to sort of shut down the cheating rumors, and he said he did not want to speak on that. I don't know. I can't imagine being in a relationship for someone for 3 years because, when you're in a relationship with someone, no one knows you better,
Yeah.
and then you break up and it's like, come on, there's still love there. You can't just put out a statement, a quick statement like, "Hey guys, I see that there's, the fan fiction online is going a little crazy. Just here to say, yes, we are broken up, but no cheating has happened, and let's, kind of
You
keep
could
it
easily make a
nice on
quick
each side. Yes, this
yeah.
is no one side. This is not someone's fault. This is not
Right.
scandalous. Nothing nefarious has happened. But yeah, we are no longer together and I am sad about it. You're
Right.
allowed to be sad about it while also closing down the rumors of Paige cheating on him.
100%. And, I want to shout out our girl, Amanda Batula, because Amanda
Mhm.
Batula does not play with her friends. She does not play. And I think you had said that there might have been a rift there. Well,
I
we can
thought
take
that, yeah.
all of that off the table
Mhm.
because, and even if I think there was a quote unquote rift there, I still think Amanda would do the same thing and say, what Amanda said on
Mhm.
a few interviews this week is that from her understanding, she came right out to defend Paige and said, from her understanding, it wasn't one conversation. It's been a few months coming. Craig was not blindsided, and that he's kind of just let Paige go to let the dogs at her because he's not sticking up for her. And she said, I think because of how long they've been together and out of respect for their relationship, he should have come forward and at least just said, to your point, Jen, a sentence or two. And what I loved to see out of this was Amanda going to bat for her friends because she doesn't play.
I also think Craig could have, if Paige reached out to Craig about these cheating rumors, Craig could have, if he didn't want to make a statement, at the very least, he could have told Austin to be
Oh,
kind on Watch What Happens Live. For him to come in hot, I understand it's his boy, but he's fueling the fire and the online hate to
yep,
Paige, and he knows that he's doing that. And Craig clearly knew that he was going to be asked shady questions by
right,
Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live. That is the show.
right.
And I think that there could have been some boundaries set by Craig. Hey, man, just either play it off or be kind or maybe no
Don't say anything.
yeah,
Yeah,
don't say anything at all, sort of.
yeah. I think that also, Paige said it. She said it on her podcast. She is single and she's
Mhm.
acting like a single person,
Yep.
going to football games,
Mhm.
going and having a date on New Year's Eve a month after her her relationship ended, which
Yeah.
that's fair.
Can I say there was a video that I saw today. I think it was, I don't, I wish I knew who posted it, but it was this girl basically saying all the people that are mad at
Oh, yeah,
Paige.
yeah, yeah.
Did you see, or basically like, just because a guy is good enough for you does not mean that guy is good enough for her.
Exactly.
And I love that. I think
It's
that's
good on
so true.
paper,
And
as they
Carl,
say.
yeah, and Carl was on Biofile. He's on the Biofiles today, and
Oh,
I
I'm
only
excited
saw
to
a clip.
listen.
And he said, "Look, there are no teams, but there are some things that I've seen with Craig that I've thought that's a lot for Paige to carry. That's, even with him
I think we all
not
know,
drinking, it's like a lot of ups and downs." And Carl says, like, that was a big that was a lot for Paige to carry, and I think ultimately Paige made Craig a better version of himself, but that doesn't mean she needs to continue to ride it out.
and no, no, and we've said this
Thank you.
before.
Next.
Thank you, next.
Yeah.
Clip
Cool.
that, Brock. I don't know if you got that was Jenna's period. I
Period.
think that's where we leave it.
I think
Thank
that's where we
you.
leave it.
Thank you, next.
Yeah.
I know this is beyond wishful thinking, and we might
Mhm.
have already seen that.
Yeah.
I have I want this new season of Summer House to be Craig Paige hooking up with Carl in the pantry or Jesse. I'm back on board with I want her to make out with someone in the house. I know she's past it. We already
I
know
know
she's
she's
past
past
it. She's
it.
in the
Yeah.
bigger she's going to be dating guys who own big huge companies and businessmen
Yeah.
and dark Italian like the Perry types. We're going to see Perry's in her future, her ex-boyfriend.
He was hot.
He was so
But
hot.
I guess problematic, so forget it. Thank you, next. Well, while we're in
Anyhow,
the South, there's not too much that we need to recap from the episode of Southern Charm. We really just wanted to touch on that.
Oh, do you know what I do want to recap from the episode?
Sure. Okay.
Why do you look so shocked?
I don't know. I don't know.
Sure. I absolutely love Madison and Miss Pat's friendship.
Yes. I don't love
They're
Miss Pat's comments about Paige though. So now she's on my shit list.
Oh, okay. Well, that aside,
Yeah, that aside.
and back to Paige and Craig, I like the no sides thing. Like, I think that's where we're at right now.
Yes.
We F with Paige, she's our homegirl. Craig is just some guy. And so when our homegirl breaks up with some guy, we're taking our homegirl side. And I fucked up for 2 weeks.
Started that with we're not taking sides and we ended up with okay, we're
because it's not true. Teresa was right. You have to pick a side.
You're yelling into the mic. It gets too loud.
It's okay.
Okay. Okay, so yes, we do love Patricia and Madison's champagne and coupes in slippers and a huge Charleston mansion. That is
God,
great.
how much would you love a champagne and a coupe in a Charleston mansion right now? Oh.
Okay, well, while we're in the South, let's talk a little bit about Southern Charm. Let's go right down the road to King Street.
I love how you know that you have to like ring me in right now. I'm 1.5 Diet Cokes in.
I saw
we
the
just
Diet
had.
Coke, so we gotta go. We gotta go. I Botox in an hour, so we gotta stay on track here. I do want to just let's.
Yeah, Jen, keep me focused.
All jokes aside, TJ and Joe. We opened the scene with this episode with TJ and Joe Bradley having this conversation, and I gotta say, like, I felt. We have this image of Joe Bradley / Joey Bottles, and I liked seeing this version of him. I thought this conversation between these two guys, one straight male, one gay male in the South, was pretty empowered. Like, I thought it was powerful.
Yeah, and for Joe as a straight guy, I mean, I think as a viewer, you're like, something happened. We're not naive. I just think from TJ's side of things, like obviously there was love there. And I think we've all been in love with our best friend and we know where he's coming from. I think something might have happened and Joe isn't willing to have that conversation, which is fine. If it's a conversation they want to have off air, they should. I felt really bad for TJ in that moment.
Yeah, I don't know that I don't know. This one's like so tricky because although I thought the conversation was really powerful to see on TV because I don't know how many straight Italian men are willing to have that conversation on national television, to be honest. I didn't like I sort of wish TJ would have taken that conversation as the win, let's call it. But then at the end of the episode, when he's talking to Bradley, he kind of insinuates more. And I'm just like, let's shut it down. Like, you got your conversation. You're back on track with your best friend. It's not Joe's situation is not for you to expose if he is not there.
But I think from TJ's point of view, it's like, this is also his situation. And to me, with TJ not being able to let it go, I feel like there were a lot of deep feelings in it for TJ. And this is almost like a breaking point that he actually got Joe to say, oh, we were in the same bed together and I might have snuggled you. I think for TJ, it was like, he's not gaslighting me anymore. He's actually saying that there was something that happened. And the way I saw it was like it came from a place of hurt. I didn't feel like he was trying to out him. Yeah. But TJ does have a tendency to be messy too. So it's like,
Yeah. And I think TJ's also just sensitive. I think he's a sensitive guy.
For sure.
And so, and then I don't know. It's
have you ever
complex,
been in,
but I thought have I ever?
Have you ever been in love with your best friend and like had like
no. Like what? What do you mean?
Like, I'm just saying, like, I feel like we all know that person that we like have had a crush on that was like, oh my God, will it, won't it? And then something happens and then it's like they freak out and run away.
I guess it was a close friend. What I call he wasn't my best maybe during that time period, yeah, and I was, like, hoping for something, and then once it finally happened, I was, like, so over it. I was like, "I can't."
Yeah. Do I know
But
who it is?
yeah, you know him, but we don't need to
Goes through everyone in their head.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, yeah, I wanted to obviously touch on that. Emmy, there's this one confessional. I know we keep
I'm
talking about
reading
Emmy, and I
this.
kind of feel bad. Emmy's confessional when she's talking about how Will worships the ground she walks on.
I wish I could have been in every 40-year-old woman's house in the entire country watching this as it happened, just being like, "Girl,
It was
no."
it was a hard scene to watch. I'm like, you're and the way that she was saying it, like as her like veins are popping, she's like, he loves me so much. And I was like, oh God, oh God, oh God. Like I'm trying to picture if I had to express it that aggressively
She's
to
telling
my
herself.
friends. Yes, like I would hope that there would be some like I would have some sort of out of body experience where I'd be hovering over myself being like, "Oh no, girl. This is not it. This is not it."
I hope that
I
she
feel bad. I do
gains.
feel bad. I
I know, because it's like a young thing, and you don't wanna
yes.
say that because you don't wanna, like, say, "Oh, she's young and she'll learn," but
Yeah.
that's really what it's gonna be about, and hopefully she'll learn to stop allegedly taking the Adderall too, because it is like the allegedly.
Allegedly.
Um, I just yeah, I feel bad too, like, I feel like
I do.
it's you're just, like, watching a train wreck
Yes.
over and over, but also as a viewer, and if I was a producer, she is quality
Yeah.
reality
The
TV.
chaos is
She's
so
bringing it. I mean, that scene 2 weeks ago when the black mascara was just running down
it
her
was
face,
a euphoria scene.
it was just
It's
you're gonna
Yeah,
oh my god.
HBO level quality television.
You like,
Speaking of
that's
Emmy
yeah,
though, what
yeah.
she's not too young for,
Oh.
you can't be no call, no show. You and I have worked in the service industry. This is how we became friends.
Mm, mm, mm.
A no call, no show?
Mm,
No.
mm,
I
mm.
I would no, absolutely
And
no.
then
That's
to
a hard
walk
pass. To walk by? The nerve. I won't even like I remember like there would be people and still like I've seen this happen over the years where people will get their shift covered and then like come into work. And I get it if you have like a friend in town or something and you want to show them
we
where
would
you
do
work.
that.
But
We
like
would do that at our restaurant.
I was never someone that would call out ever
Oh, no, 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 but if
and
you got
even
your
get it.
shift covered I remember in our restaurant, I called out one time, and it was because the neurovirus went around the entire restaurant, and I got it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I have to call out." It was one time in 2 years.
Yeah, I did the no call, no show. Like I
And
will
them
be dead on the
walking by.
floor
Yep.
behind there,
But I
behind the bar
also
before I'm not showing up.
the other thing is, like, to me, no call, no show means you're willing to get fired. Like, she got written up
Yeah.
and was about to give an excuse for it. Like, girl, sign that paper
Or
the fact that you still have your job.
or she thought because she has this close friendship with Michaels that he was just gonna kind of let her like skate on by.
Yeah,
The idea of walking by the restaurant that you know called no showed is a real fu to the
sure
business
is.
and to all of your coworkers because you're not hurting Leva, you're not hurting Republic, you're
No.
hurting your homies that are picking up your slack when you're not there.
That to me is like in the service industry, it's almost friendship ending.
Honestly, because I'm now thinking of a time, and God bless her, we're still great friends. She lives out here. She's one of my closest friends. But there was a time that she had a freak out at work, left. I was first cut. And all of a sudden, I'm last to go home, there till 3 in the morning. And I was like, I got here at 4 before everyone else. And now because of your, misbehavior and outburst, I'm stuck here. And to be honest, I was pretty pissed off. I was like, I had plans. I
I'm
didn't.
trying to think
The
if I
plans
know
were
who
to
it
hang
was
out at
with the
work,
rest of us.
probably. Yeah.
I'm thinking about the time that I don't know if you were still there, but I got a ban for 1 month of drinking in the bar that we worked at. I wasn't allowed to do it
Love
because
that
I
for you.
didn't listen to one of the managers, and I tried to come in on my day off because we all hung out at the bar that we worked
Yeah,
at. It's so weird and incestuous, but it like a month not being able to hang out there was
that's torture.
torture.
Yeah. I
torture.
could just see you, like, sitting in the piazza.
That's exactly what I would do. I'd
Just
be
be like,
like,
"Hi."
"Guys, or I'll just be out here," or, like, on the side. It was so pathetic.
Just sitting on the curb outside.
I'm like, "I just need a cigarette and 1 beer, let me. Oh my god."
Oh, boy.
Anyhow,
Yeah, that one really struck a chord as I'm obviously still in the service industry, and that one really
you texted us immediately. Oh, I'm like, us and our other yeah.
that one, like, felt like a dagger a little bit. I was like, "You
Yeah.
can't no call, no show," and then on top of that, walk by.
I just am more like the
Seems
walk
also
by, but
irres
it's also like you still expect to have your job.
I know, it's so
Anyhow,
irresponsible. I don't
I
like
wanna
that.
get into I wanna get into RHONY last night.
Okay, you texted me saying you cried.
You didn't?
I didn't.
Okay. Do you
So I
cry?
wanna know what I do for sure. I've cried to you plenty over the years. You patted me on the back and said, "So sorry." Um,
From afar.
yeah, from afar. I would like
I've
to think
worked
you
on
were
that.
I was
That's
gonna
something
say
I've worked on a lot in therapy. Like that's been a good one. Is like I'm not a hugger. I just didn't know how to before.
before, yes, you've
Yeah.
grown.
Yeah.
So what part really got you teared up?
Honestly, Ubah and Brynn at the end.
Okay. When they're having their
Um,
moment by themselves?
and yeah, I think both things can be true. I think Brynn effed up big time, but I think Brynn is never going to see what happened as more than an attack because of the subject matter. And it was this beautiful friendship moment that it was all coming from a place of hurt, right?
Mhm,
Like Ubah was so hurt that she thought her closest friend on the show could accuse her of something and she felt like she had been lying. And Bryn said when they took the break, like, I just want to hug my friend. It was like more so that I saw this connection between Bryn and Ubah that maybe we hadn't seen
mhm.
all season and because they had been at odds. And really, when it comes down to it, they both were just very, very hurt and didn't know how to approach the situation. And so I think there was also this so many redeeming qualities about Ubah in that last scene with Bryn about her saying to Bryn, like, hey, all these women love you. They have your back. You just need to apologize to them and they'll have your back. It's almost like I feel like Bryn looks at Ubah as like a big sister figure.
Mhm.
And for that friendship to end for Bryn, she just freaked out, ran away instead of confronted the situation. I don't know if it's healthy for any of the women to be friends with Bryn, but I do think Bryn deserves some empathy because I think Sai said it at the end. Like she's really damaged and she has a lot of work to do.
I think that was kind of my overall takeaway. Watching just Bryn respond, her, like, kind of body language during the whole
Yeah.
thing. I even texted my friend and I said, "It's not that I obviously feel for Bryn, like, that
Right.
is so tragic, and this guy is just, like, living amongst her, and that's terrible. I truly cannot even imagine." With that said, I kept seeing I couldn't, like, unsee a child.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know how to
Right.
say it.
Yeah. No,
Like
that's right.
yeah, and
Even how she does that like baby voice. Like
yes,
I
and it
just
it felt so
sad.
this is gonna sound so selfish, but with how broken and childish she feels to me, like, she's probably a little older than me, and I still felt like she was this small, small child that I just want to, like, hold sort of,
Yeah.
and it
That
was
is
almost
weird saying from you.
taking away a little bit of the escapism from the show, and it's like, I know we've had some, big storylines in the past, but I don't know that I've ever looked at a housewife and truly felt, "Oh my god, this is a woman who is stuck in, like, a child form still and needs a lot
No,
of therapy," and,
and
like,
we're
I
watching it. We're watching her, and
and
that
it's
feels
hard
fucked
to
up.
it feels fucked up. That's what
Do you
it
know
is. It
what
feels fucked up. It takes away from the headlines that we're reading all the time about, the world and, like,
Yeah.
this and that and our own shit in our own lives. It's like we come to reality TV to escape, and I think seeing Brynn, it just felt like, I don't know that I should be
Watching
invited
this.
into this.
Yeah. Do you know what it actually when you were saying that, it made me think of? Remember how strongly we felt about the D'Amelio sisters on
Yes.
Hulu? It's almost that feeling
Yes.
that you
Yes.
feel like she's being taken advantage of
Mhm.
because, like, I'm sitting there saying she has issues, but, like, there's like, that's such a great analogy. Like, all of her stuff is so embedded in
Mhm.
her childhood that it's really, really, really tough
Mhm.
to watch it unplay, and that's what, like, that moment between her and Ubah, it was almost like Ubah was mothering her through that.
Mhm.
Like, "This is how you have to react. This is how you have
Mhm.
to treat the women,"
Mhm.
speaking to her very softly and yeah, and all of
Yeah, I
those.
think Brynn has taken life so up until this point, like, fun and fluff,
Mhm.
and then she ended up on a reality TV show, and a lot of her, like, inner or lack of, like, inner work has been exposed,
Right.
and so now I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but
No, but I think you made a good point about saying, like, it does feel like we shouldn't be watching what's
yeah,
happening. Like, we shouldn't be a part of this ride.
yeah,
I'm glad they stopped it at
2.
2, thank God. I hope this is the new norm. I hope they heard us and we said two's enough.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll see who's back. Obviously, Rebecca Minkoff is not back. Thank God.
What a weirdo, huh?
What a weirdo
The way that her whole performance at this reunion, I'm so glad it was only, like, 10 minutes.
performance. 10,
Yeah,
it was like 2. I'm like, "Thank
so, yeah,
God."
she like, getting so defensive and about the Scientology of it all, like, you were coming onto a reality show in a world that Scientology is, like, a kind of
Big and it's
it's gonna get clicks. People are gonna be curious about it, and
so
then
curious.
when it was exposed that she had given Aaron sort of, like, talking points or, like, guidelines for
I
what
loved that Erin said that.
I was like, "Oh, like, not chill at all." Like, you're actually doing more damage to the
Yeah,
Scientology by being so coy about it,
right.
you know?
It was dumb. Like, she was boring. They were all right.
Yeah.
I hope to God that Raquel comes back. I really love Raquel.
Me too. And she
Really
seems
love her.
down to play a little bit.
And also, like, such an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
The thing that we talked about before is when it all boils down, watching these fashionistas, watching these women who have careers and have really fun, interesting jobs. I loved Jenna, how Jenna was sticking up for the
Mhm.
crowd and also willing to show up for Brynn. It was I'm interested to see where this goes.
Yeah. Agreed.
Do we want to talk about
Beverly Hills.
quickly? There were a
We can
few
do it
things that
quickly.
came out about like Beverly Hills. There were a few highlights. We actually talked about a little bit about this with Teresa about the dinner with Erica, Bose, and Dorit. Dorit really brings a lot to the table talking about her divorce. But what really struck me was Bose asking Kathy
Mhm.
about Kyle and basically
Mhm.
saying, I haven't had a good experience with your
Mhm.
sister. Can we elaborate on that? I really thought that took a lot of balls. That's her family, that's her sister. To
Yeah.
have the balls to go in and say, "Hey, you wanna talk shit about your sister? Here's an opportunity."
I wonder if maybe she felt safe about it though, knowing, I'm sure through Dorit, that Kyle and
Mm,
Kathy haven't always it hasn't been like they've been in lockstep the whole time. So maybe she felt like, oh,
it's
this could be a safe space to open this conversation up.
but it also makes me think the opposite, that you should tread even
Yeah.
lighter. Like, I would yeah. I mean, what Dorit gave us in that episode, Dorit has given us more this season. I mean, she should have the center orange.
Mhm.
Orange?
No, that's Orange County. This is diamonds.
Center diamond this
Yes.
season if she doesn't have it because she's giving us everything. I mean, she's talking about her divorce. She's talking about the 7-page email that PK sent her outlining their finances for the last however many years, saying that she should be taking over the mortgage and the bills within a certain amount of months. Then she then she says to Erica, do you know that there's this rule in California about if you're married to someone for 10 years, you get half of all of their assets. And they're at the 9.5 mark. This man.
I know.
She is your child's mother.
The thing that actually shocked me most is how sort of absent he is as a father.
Yeah.
That's not.
And how but I don't think that's I think it's always been that way. I don't think the divorce has really she talked about how he traveled a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think the divorce really changed that. The other thing that's kind of strange to me, and I don't know if you feel this way, is kind of Dorit's like lack of emotion.
She's probably been going through it for so much longer than we like, I think when they were doing flashbacks to even 2022 about the DUI stuff.
Yeah.
She was probably holding on,
Yeah.
For the sake of her marriage, but now, so that's 22, that's 3 years ago. Wow. At some point you have to just like you're probably a little emotionless.
Yeah. I mean,
it should of heavy emotions, like you can't. And then it's like cameras are up, makeup, glam is done. You probably just hold it together a little bit.
And I mean, Erica came through and was like, look, I'm going to be real with you and I'm going to be straight up. And this is the Erica that we remember before the Tom Girardi break. Like, this is the girl who she's out there for her friends. She's doing what she needs to do. And I really love to see that side of Erica giving Dorit the advice that I think she needed at that time. Get yourself a lawyer, girl. Lawyer up. It's time. So,
all right. Well, I think that's pretty much covers it. This is a good episode. I'm so excited for our listeners to hear our conversation with Teresa.
Coming up, check out our conversation with Teresa. It's a good one, guys. You guys are going to like it. Thanks for sticking around for it. We'll see you next week with an all new episode. Follow us where you follow us at Bonded by Bravo Pod. Jenna and I are so excited. We have our first housewife on the podcast. Not only do we have the first, I'd say we have one of the realest OGs to ever housewife in history. We have with us Teresa Giudice. Did I say it right?
You said amazing, and amen to that, because that is the truth. I am the realist.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Teresa, thank you so much for being here. We chatted a little and just said, we're two Philly girls born and raised at the Jersey Shore. And usually this time of year, our backdrop on Bravo has been Real Housewives of New Jersey down at the Jersey Shore. It always gets me through the winter time, seeing like, okay, we have the Jersey Shore in our future. We want to know, what is Teresa's favorite Jersey Shore beach point?
Well, in my 20s, my favorite one was the surf club.
Okay. And what town is that in?
I would say 20s, 30. It was in Ortley, and it got messed up by
Sandy.
I think it was Sandy, or was even I think it was Sandy. Or maybe even before that. It's been a minute. Yeah.
Have you been to any of the South Jersey shore points like Cape May or Wildwood? That was kind of where we were at.
Okay. Cancel. All right. So yeah, Cape May. No.
Okay.
I've been to Wildwood.
Okay, that's where that was our stomping grounds.
Yeah, I went there with my parents, but it wasn't that. It wasn't that fun. It was like a family place. Yeah. So, I mean, but like now I would say, the hottest place that my daughter goes to now. And like, I think I went there a little bit, like when Joe left, like when he got deported, I was like, let me check out the scene, but it really, it wasn't really my scene. Jenkinson's and Tiki Bar, So, but it's very, it's really young. But my daughter goes. That's where she goes. I think Jenkins Tiki Bar, and then DJ's Barre. There's the other place.
There's
like around that. Like she gets a beach house now in Manasquan. So
that's okay.
Yeah. So that area. But there's another club that I've never been to that she goes to a lot. It's like more preppy though. The guys are more preppy.
Okay.
Like that.
Not our style. That's not our style.
Yeah, no, but you know what? I have to say, I think preppy is good now. I like the.
You like it. You like it for your daughter.
Definitely no Guido. I don't even. Like, we don't want none of that. You know. Yeah, no. That was like the best spot. Like, it was so much. Like, everybody went to the beach, like a fashion show, and like I like there's a picture online if you guys could find it, which I'm sure you could, because I've been seeing on TikTok. It's a picture of me and my brother, but you could cut my brother out. Yeah, you really could. And
Teresa with the shake.
It's me with a leopard bathing suit. It's
yes.
Yeah, and like we gotta find and that's at the surf club. So my hair's all done up and like I have makeup on. I have this hot bathing suit on, and like back in the day, like the girls would wear heels. Like with their bathing suits. Yeah. It was like
Teresa, are you a curly haired girl at heart? Do you have curly hair?
Yeah.
I have to ask. I mean, I'm asking
I have natural curly hair. If you find that picture,
that's what I think I've seen it.
Pat, you need to find it. Like I'm to ask my producer to find it. Like you gotta get it. Like
I feel like they've shown that on the show. I can picture it.
At the tan
club.
Yeah.
And I'm very tan.
Yes.
Very tan.
I'm very tan. Oh, that's it. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's it.
Look at that bathing suit.
I know.
So click on that one, but cut my brother out.
That is fire. Oh my God. Look at those curls, Teresa. So we talked about like our commonalities with being Italian and that loyalty that's really important. I know Jenna had questions about Real Housewives of New Jersey update, and if they do start filming again, will you go back?
Of course I'm going to go back.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
I started it. So I feel like, there's still a lot in me. So I'll definitely go back.
Have you had any updates?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. But I heard it's coming soon,
Okay.
Like because I think they can't, they have to let you know like what's the status.
Totally.
Like with the, with the whole employment thing, right?
Right.
Like, all that.
Now, there's been rumors that they might do something like they've done in New York. Have you gotten to see the new RHONY and what they're doing? And what's your vibes on that? How are you feeling about bringing in new folks?
I have seen it. It's, I mean, listen, drama sells, because like now I think people are starting to get into it because like, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they're really like, they're really putting it out there. Like, I mean, I just, as a mom of 4 girls, I mean, I'm going to give you my view. I mean, I know some people shared that they had abortions on the show. To me, I don't know. Like a mom of 4 girls, I don't think I would really want to advertise that I'm getting abortions, just like I wouldn't want my kids to think that that's okay. Like,
right.
I don't know.
Little too.
I mean, listen, I know it's a touchy subject, but to me,
and that's,
I know, to me, that's something private.
Too personal.
I know a lot of people came forward and said, "Oh yeah, I had one done too, and I had one done too, and I had one." As a mom of 4 girls, like I was just like, wow, I was taken back by that.
Yeah. And that's one of the things with the new girls, they're bringing almost different conversations to the table. When you think about New Jersey and them wanting to bring in new faces, I think that we think the original Jersey crew still has a lot to give. What are your thoughts?
I would say half of that crew, not all of it. Yeah, definitely half, because like, I mean, there's a lot of them that don't give anything. And if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't be giving anything, So it's like, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like they should stick some of the old and bring in some of the new. Yeah. And the whole thing is like build that friendship dynamic.
Right.
Like even if we're not friends with them, It's like, let's build the friendship on camera. Like, I love that. I mean, that's something that I would be interested in, because I'm all about, I like new blood and I like making new friendships, especially because I don't have sisters, and I'm like a girl's girl. So I would love, someone like to build a friendship and to see where it goes from there. And,
That's what they did on RHONY, basically. I mean, with the new cast, it's like those. I don't know that many of those girls were friends before, but they really
did do that. Okay, I like that.
They kind of have become friends because of the show.
Okay,
and it's for the most part, I would say it's working out.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to get into it. Like from the beginning, it was a little hard for me to get it, to just jump into it, and then like
always is.
But now I've been watching it, and I was just like, damn, it was like a lot of drama. But then the whole thing, like how that girl Brynn lied about Ubah, and I love Ubah because I'm really close with Chanel, and that's Ubah, Ubah's Chanel's, Chanel Ion's cousin. Yeah, and I was like, wow, to lie about shit like that shit goes on my show too, and I'm like, I'm used to that, like.
Yeah. Speaking of Chanel, actually, are you watching your friend Dolores on Traders at all?
Yes, and you know what? I couldn't get into it before.
I know,
same.
I have to say now I'm gotten into it because a lot of people tell me they can't get into it, and so I'm like, I tried it and I'm getting into it now.
You talked about friendships earlier and how you liked the new blood. Who from the cast do you still maintain friendships with?
From
Dolores, your cast.
Dolores, Jennifer, Jackie Goldschneider, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest, they lied.
Okay, so no Rachel or Danielle.
No.
Okay.
Rachel, I mean, her husband came out with that lie about my husband. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, are you serious? Like that was blatantly a lie. And that's like, of course, I thought Rachel was going to have a mind of her own, but she was like, she followed what the other people, what the other minions were telling her to do. So that's what she did. And Danielle, same thing. Danielle was playing. This is my thing. I don't like when people play both sides of the fence. Because in life, you do.
You have to pick a side.
You can only get away with that for so long. And then eventually it's like, pick a lane, you know? And Danielle was like trying to talk to me, then talk to my brother and his wife. It's like, girl, no. And meanwhile, I'm the one that brought you, like she was my friend bringing her, I introduced her to everyone. And my whole thing, I just didn't like how she was doing that and playing both sides of the fence and that whole thing. And I was just like, no, you know what? I'll do it for you. Pick that side. And that's how I'm like, we don't need to talk anymore. Like, we don't need to be friends and especially because I helped her out. I did her charity event and blah, 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 and all of this. And it's like, I'm very into loyalty. And when I see someone like not do it, just
giving it
at
back.
This point in my life, I don't need to hang out with you. I don't.
Right.
I don't. I'd rather if you're going to be in my circle, I want it, to be like. I want to feel good about it, and not like, and I wasn't feeling good about that. You're calling me with Danielle. You're calling me on the phone, like trying to be my friend, telling me there's nothing going on. Like, but then you're hanging out with my brother and Melissa and like the whole other side. And it's like, it was just so, I don't know. There was a lot of things that just, I don't know, to me, I am real. And it's like when I see someone that's not being like just playing both sides of the fence, I don't know. And I guess at this point in my life, like I could feel if it's a friendship is real or not. And this is the biggest thing, especially because she was going through this. She was not speaking to her brother.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was the thing that totally like, I was like, so you could see what I'm going through. And then I don't know, it was just like,
and it's also
explaining it right, but
that could have been.
You guys are from Philly, so I guess you guys get my whole gist.
Yes. And expecting a little more kind of empathy on her side, like what I'm going through. So why are you not seeing me in this?
Yeah,
you could have bonded over it. You could have created a friendship over it and said like,
yeah. And because imagine if I was hanging out with her brother and her sister-in-law. Like, imagine if I was hanging out with them and like on the same show. Like, I don't know. It's just, I would think she would have had more of a feeling, more of a, like, exactly. Empathy. You're right. For me. And you know, because a lot of people they totally get it, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, they totally understand because my story's never changed. It's always been the same. Like, you know, obviously the other one, I know my whatever you want to call her, ex sister, whatever you want to call her, that's sister-in-law.
Castmate.
But which castmate / sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Like her story, if you really, I'm telling you, these bloggers are freaking amazing. Like
they really do.
Her story does not stay the same. It changes, you know.
Yeah, the bloggers.
And I just saw recently, because like I said, I didn't watch all the episodes, but it's like the bloggers post everything. It's freaking amazing. So if you want to see
everything,
and they just posted something when she admitted that she was talking to Danielle Staub behind my back. Like I was just like, oh my God, see? So people forget though. They forget. Like, so she was, remember when I pushed Andy Cohen? It was because
how could we forget Teresa?
She told because she was talking to Danielle and she told Danielle to say that I didn't go see my nephew in the hospital, which I did. And that one clip about the Danielle, she also admitted that she came on the show behind my back, which I thought it was never put out there, but she did admit in that one reunion clip that she did that.
Danielle came on behind your back.
No.
Her, the castmate.
Oh,
my sister-in-law,
your castmate
and Kathy. They both did. Yeah, and they both did. Okay. Yeah. And that one reunion clip, they did admit that they did come on the show behind my back because they wanted the opportunity. But that's fine if you want the opportunity. But you should tell your family.
Yeah, like, behind the back of it all that we're not down.
And that's what was evil about it. And then me going to my nephew's christening and getting like
that episode.
I was blindsided. I was like, what, what are you doing? Like, and then acting that way in front of my parents.
Yeah.
That was so heart-wrenching because now that my parents are not here anymore, I still think about that. And when my dad heard my brother banging on the table, he looked and he's probably like, what's going on? Like, what are you acting like an animal for at your son's christening? Like,
totally.
You know?
Are the cousins still in touch with each other?
No, it's not my kids doing. So but it's okay. It's okay. Listen, maybe down the line they will.
Yeah,
totally.
But it's all good. Listen, it's all. But my kids there's 11 girls on Joe's side. I have 4 girls. Joe's brother has 3 girls.
This is like my family.
Sister has 4 girls. So they have a lot of cousins. Yeah.
That's my we're all, it's just 11 girls just running amok and 3 boys.
I'm glad they have that, you know?
Right.
Yes, it's the best.
Joe's family, like even though we got divorced, they love Louis. They've met Louis. They think he's like
that's great.
Like my niece said on Christmas Eve, she came up to me. Oh no, it was New Year's Eve because Gia had all her friends here and my first niece. Like there's, Gia was first, then Miranda was next. And she's like, I just want you to know that we all see how amazing Louis is to you and to your daughters.
Yeah.
And like that coming from my niece, my first, the oldest niece next to Gia, I was just like so taken back. Like she didn't have to say that to me because that's Joe's niece,
right?
And like seeing that because he is like he stepped in and like takes care of my daughters like they're his own. And like I love that Joe's family sees that because I do it all on my own and. Joe doesn't really help that, he doesn't because he's in the Bahamas. He's staying on his feet, and Louis is amazing. And see, that's what America didn't get to see, that part of Louis, because unfortunately I had my brother and his wife trying to make my husband and Margaret like he's a bad guy, which that wasn't the case,
Yeah.
But I'm glad that my niece said that to me on New Year's Eve. That that really made me feel good.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Because it's from Joe's side, so I was like,
totally.
Oh, so sweet, So.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
You said that you're close with other housewives. Who else in the housewife multiverse are you still in touch with? Do you have close friendships with?
In other franchises?
Yeah.
Oh, like in Potomac, I love Ashley.
Yep.
In Salt Lake City, Angie.
Everyone loves it.
I've met Heather Gay. We both got top
Heather
40
Gay.
women in Variety, so we sat right next to each other.
Oh, nice.
Meredith, our kids are coming out with the show soon, spring, summer.
Yes,
so we filmed together. We did some, filming together on that show. Who else? In Miami, Alexia and Larsa.
Yeah.
And in Dubai, I love Ion and Caroline Stanberry.
These are all people that I think we would think that you would be friends with. Yeah.
Yeah. I just did a podcast with Caroline and she was awesome. Yeah.
So speaking of the Housewives at Sea, what can people expect from that? That's not so Shannon, Bador, you and Dolores. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And, eventually that's why I said, I'm going to be there with my 2 girls.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a fun event. It's like sort of like BravoCon, like, we're going to do something every day about
That's
it.
fun.
We're not working like all day long, like a few hours a day, and that's it. And like meeting friends. And
does the fandom that Bravo, like the Bravo fans, does it ever shock you? Like the fandom that comes with being a Bravo leb? It's almost like its own Marvel universe. It's so big. We're so dedicated. Does it ever catch you off guard?
Does it ever catch me off guard?
Are you ever shocked? Like, oh
no,
my God.
I've been doing it now for I've been around for like almost I figured it out the other day. I started TV like 17 years ago. So but season 15 just finished. Yeah.
Right.
Season 15 just finished. Like I started a year before it came out, and then they waited a year for me to come home. So I've been on, it's been around. I've been doing TV now for 17 years. So I'm used to it,
Now.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I love it.
I mean, we're on TV, so it's like, so people like are get into these shows and really get attached to us and really get to know us and feel it, and they do. And they've seen me give birth on TV. Like I did so much. So I've been through
so crazy to think.
Unfortunately, that's my parents on TV. I've been through so many milestones, good and bad, on TV. I got married on TV, like so many.
Yeah.
So people are invested in into us. They are.
Absolutely, we are. Absolutely.
Well, Teresa, we know that you've given us so much of your time. We have 4 quick rapid fire questions that we want to ask you before you go.
Let's do this.
You ready? Are you ready? Okay.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Who do you think has changed the most since joining New Jersey?
Changed the most?
It doesn't have to be.
It could be for the good. It could be good or bad.
Changed the most. Oh my God.
You can even do physical appearance.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't even want to,
Okay. We have other ones.
Let's say Margaret, right?
Okay.
After I said something to her, she drastically changed. Yeah.
Okay. Next one. What is your ultimate guilty pleasure food?
Oh my God. Like sweets or regular?
Whatever. Like, what's something you're like hiding in your cabinet that nobody else in the family can get to? You have your secret hiding spot.
Oh yeah, I have like a snack drawer.
Yes.
Oh, of course you do.
I have a snack drawer. I have like the other day I just bought chocolate little blunt little cakes.
Ooh.
Like when I have like that chocolate sweet tooth, and I love fruit and nuts. I like the Cadbury bar fruit and nuts.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Who would play?
And I love ice cream.
Okay.
So, that's in the freezer. Yeah.
That's in the freezer.
Yeah.
Who would play you in a movie about your life?
I know. I've always thought about that. I don't know. I think I would play myself. Like maybe myself. Because I know there's not too many people that look like me. Who do you think looks like me?
It's so funny because Italians, they don't.
I want to look like Teresa Giudice. I don't want to look like nobody else. I want to be my own person.
It's a hard one because Italians, they always make us like soften the eyebrows, straighten the hair.
Maybe there's some upcoming actresses that I haven't seen that might look like me. So we'll see. Maybe to be continued because I know they're gonna make a movie of my life one day. So
they should. There's enough there.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question, and this is one of our favorites. What's one Jersey stereotype that's actually true?
One Jersey. I mean, I don't know, like the Jersey Shore. I mean, what else? I don't know. I mean,
they're so.
Like for Philly, I would say we're loud. Like that stereotype is so real.
Jersey. For Jersey, I know.
For Jersey,
I would say Jersey's loud too. Jersey's really real.
Yeah.
Jersey. I mean, you can't say the big hair anymore. That's over. I mean,
it used to be.
I mean, what else would you say for Jersey? I mean, I would say Jersey's loud too.
Yeah.
Jersey,
I feel like Philly and Jersey have very similar stereotypes. There's always the Italian part. There's always the loud part. There's our funny accents part. How
we say coffee. I don't know, like or what exit? Everybody says what exit. I don't know.
That's definitely one. We do that too. Yeah.
I mean, you guys probably like, what's the stereotype for Jersey? I don't know. Tell me.
I'm trying. Like all of those are the same too.
Yeah.
The Jersey
Shore. Working down the shore at the time that Jersey Shore came out, and Cape May. I was working in Cape May, and just like people coming down and be like, "Oh, this is like not what we see on TV." And I'm like, there are definitely different parts of Jersey, but I feel like
the thing about Jersey, I would say, is the Jersey Shore, right?
Yeah,
I mean, definitely Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
I want to go down the shore.
So bad.
I hate winter.
So bad. Teresa, thank you so much for being on Bonded by Bravo. Thanks for being our first housewife, the real OG, Teresa Giudice or Giudice, however you prefer it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.